Morning, everybody. I call to order this March 19th Judicial and Public Safety Committee meeting. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here today. Before we get into today's, let's have a roll call.
Chair Evans.
Here.
Member Chaplin.
Here.
Member Childress. Member Desart. Here. Member Eckhoff. Member Guston. Member Krajewski. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Here.
Member Zay.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any public comment?
No public comment today.
No public comment. Okay, for my chair remarks, before we get into today's meeting, I wanted to talk about something that will be on next week's county board agenda that was not able to be on today's agenda. The circuit court informed me that late last week, they were awarded the Illinois Courts Technology Modernization Program grant for a total of $345,905.65. With this money, they were given the funding to complete two major projects: the completion of the traffic courtroom AV equipment upgrades and the implementation of an updated jury management system. That's it. To ensure the projects are complete in the FY24 grants cycle, there is a need to discharge JPS and bring it straight to county board next Tuesday. We received notice of this grant too late to place it on today's JPS agenda, so that's why we're doing this. Thank you to the circuit court for working to receive this grant, and I'm excited to have the procurements on the agenda next Tuesday. And with that, I will take a motion on the minutes for the March 5th Judicial and Public Safety Committee. Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion passes. And let's see. Moving on to procurement requisitions. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP-9-24 recommendation for the approval of a purchase order to Logicalis Inc. for IBM Passport Advantage software licensing and support for the period of April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025 for a total contract amount of $100,014.64. Okay, is there any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to resolutions. Can I get a motion to approve JPS R-5-24 Preferred Health System Agreement between DuPage County and Northwestern Memorial Healthcare for inmate medical services covering the period of August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2027. Any discussion on this? Okay, member you. Oh.
Yes, I have a quick question. I'm sorry, was I recognized? Thanks.
Yes.
So what were the medical service that we had before for the inmates? And is this a similar rate that we've had in the past?
I can answer that, member you. It's the exact same contract, just renewal. No problem.
And members A, did you have a comment? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, any other discussion? Member Chaplin?
Yeah, did we, it's a renewal you said, so when is the contract up? Or, I mean, when will we be going back out for bid? Or 27, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. all
Yes,
right.
sorry, I didn't bring the agenda with, yes, that.
And what kind of service are they provide? I mean, I know we have nurses at the jail, so what other kind of?
If I remember correctly, and Jennifer Sin is our expert on this, and I don't know if she's on Zoom. If not, I'll get you this information between meetings, but this gets us, I believe, the Medicare rate for any of the services that we may have to send them to Northwestern or CDH for. So we
Okay.
have the initial contact with our nursing staff and doctors of that nature here at the jail.
Go to
Yes,
the
but
hospital.
If they go to the hospital, these are the rates in which we pay for those services.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to 7B, can I get a motion to approve JPS R-7-24 intergovernmental agreement with Bloomingdale Township for police services for a total amount of $137,656.81 for the period of April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. Any discussion on this? Okay, member Desart?
Thank you. I'm just curious, how is the rate figured out? Size of township, officers needed, because I note that 7B, D, and E is $137,000 plus a little bit. And then C is 200% more, or it appears the same services. So I'm sure there's some difference?
Sure. So seven is actually three. I'm sorry if Deputy Bill, I don't know if Deputy Billard was on, but 7C is actually for three deputies assigned to them.
Yeah, I'm here, Jason.
Okay.
So, yes, the other town, Milton Township is the only township that has multiple. We have 3 deputies assigned to Milton Township, so that's why it's approximately 3 times the cost.
That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Member Tornatori?
My follow-up question. Why does Milton Township have 3 and everybody else have 1?
Because Milton Township is contracted with us for 3, as long as I've been at the sheriff's office, and the other townships have only contracted for 1. They wanted 3 and everybody else only wanted to pay for 1.
That's not exactly a good answer, but
Well,
I mean,
Member Tornatori, that's been a deal with Milton Township. In over 20 years, they've requested to have that and they've funded those 3 deputies. Over those years, each other township has only requested 1. And if they would request more, that'd be something we would be willing to entertain, but that's
No,
what.
I get it. I understand 3 costs more than 1. I just don't know why one township's got 3 and everybody else has got 1, but okay.
Okay, member Chaplin and then member Eckhoff and then member Zay.
Thank you. So, with our sheriff being short staffed now, and we know that they're working a lot of overtime, what pressure does this put on the sheriff's department or, because I know we did this, I know this has been for many, many years, but now with the shortage of sheriffs and police in general, I'm just wondering what stresses this puts on our sheriff's department, if any.
It doesn't put any stress. They're out on the patrol beats, answering calls for service, just like the deputies. They're primarily working within those townships, which is why the townships pay a significant portion of their salary and benefits. However, we retain the right to move them anywhere we need them for any kind of emergency or any other instance. So as it stands right now, they are actually just their salaries are being paid primarily by the townships, but they are serving at the pleasure of the sheriff.
Member Eckhoff?
These type of contracts have existed before current Sheriff Doria started them with the township, so they've been around for quite a while. My question is, we had set up the contract's supposed to be 80-20. So does anybody, we used to rerun the numbers every year to make sure, because at one point the percentage had fallen to it's supposed to be 80% paid by the township, 20% by the county, and we had found out that it went to 60-40.
Yep.
So every year we would check to make sure it's 80-20.
Yes, that again, this is 80-20 for what our cost should be. Yes.
And Milton Township, for whatever reason, has decided they want 3, they pay for 3. Most everybody else wants 1, and Milton's had 3 for at least, I don't know, 10, 20 years.
Okay, member Zay and then member you.
Yeah, and these aren't just the township wants it. These were passed by referendum by the townships many, many years ago. So it's funded. I mean, and it was voted on by the voters originally.
Thank you, member Zay. Member you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noticed in the agreement that it states that the deputies will be on duty 10 8-hour days in a 14-day period. So then what happens on the other 4 days?
So the deputies work in all of the townships except Milton. They work Monday through Friday at the township's request, and they'll flex their hours. Sometimes they work during the day, sometimes they work during the afternoon. Milton Township, the deputies are on the 12-hour shifts, and we have 1 on each of the day shifts, and they have 1 that works the overnight shift. So they end up working their 80 hours in a pay period.
So is there ever a period of non-coverage and somebody else has to cover, or?
No, we are only contracted with them to cover 8-hour shifts for the ones that work 8-hour shifts Monday through Friday and 12-hour shifts for Milton Township.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to 7C, can I get a motion to approve JPSR 8-24 intergovernmental agreement with Milton Township for police services for a total amount of $412,970.44 for the period of April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. Any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to 7D, can I get a motion to approve JPSR 9-24 intergovernmental agreement with Wayne Township for police services for a total amount of $137,656.81 for the period April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. Any discussion on this? Okay, and all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to 7E, can I get a motion to approve JPSR 10-24 intergovernmental agreement with York Township for police services for a total amount of $137,656.81 for the period April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. Any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to grants, can I get a motion to approve 24
So moved.
961 GPN 1024 Family Violence Coordinating Council SY 25 Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority in the amount of $49,000. Any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Now for informational, can I get a motion to place on file, to receive and place on file item 24-962 informational public defender's office monthly statistical support report, February 2024. Any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Okay, moving on to old business. Does anybody have any old business? Okay, member Desart. And then member Ozon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just wondering, since we have Deputy Chief Billadu on, if he can give us an update on the Juneteenth mass shooting at Willowbrook Corners and how the investigation is going. Thank you.
I can't. I've had absolutely no involvement with that investigation, and therefore it would be very out of school for me to comment on it.
Yeah, these are
Okay,
open-
then, Madam Chair, I'd like an update on it, maybe at our next JPS meeting. Thank you.
update on what?
The mass shooting that happened in DuPage County
want
on
it from
June
who?
15th, not 19th.
Okay, who do you want this update from?
The sheriff's
Okay,
office,
but I,
who is investigating this. We
I'm sorry,
discussed
I
this at
couldn't
the
hear.
last JPS meeting. I'm surprised you don't recall, since we had
No,
a mass
recall you
shooting in our
asking that
county.
I recall you asking for that. What, how, in what form do you want that from an open investigation?
Even though it's an open investigation, they can update us on what they have without giving anything away.
You can call the sheriff yourself.
Well, you're the chairwoman of JPS, and I think this whole committee would like to know about a mass shooting update in our county.
Point of order, Madam Chair. I think this is completely inappropriate in open session. This is an ongoing investigation. I think if we need to get an opinion from the state's attorney to tell us that we can't talk about an ongoing investigation, open session, I guess we would have to ask the state's attorneys that. It's completely inappropriate for an open investigation to bring any kind of updates or anything to this committee or the county board.
Members say it is not inappropriate. I get
Okay.
press
I have not
releases
called on
all
you,
the
Member
time
Desart.
regarding open investigations from Will County, Joliet. I mean, other entities have public information officers that share press releases of open investigation of what's going on. So it's not inappropriate. It's a very appropriate question when we're dealing with a mass shooting in our county. Thank you.
Okay, I will reach out to State's Attorney Bob Berlin and we'll talk about whether or not this is appropriate. Any other old business? Oh, member Ozog.
Sorry, what is SFY 25 in item 8A?
The state fiscal year, I believe.
State fiscal
Yes,
year.
I
Okay,
mean,
thank
Jeff, does that SFY, it's the state? Yeah, I think it's state fiscal year. I
Okay,
believe that's
thanks.
what it is.
Got you. Thank you.
Okay, members A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's great to hear we got that grant for $345,000. Any chance they would just pay us back and we can put in the general fund for the millions of dollars we've spent in upgrades at the judicial complex and the circuit?
No.
I'll ask.
No? Okay. I thought I could ask. What's the
We
what's the worst
need
I could say? No? Sorry, Jeff, I tried.
Okay, any other old business? Okay, any new business? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. We are adjourned.